Josh, congratulations on the new deal. You must be pleased to have committed a bit more of your future here. What's the thoughts behind that?
Yeah, no, 100%. Pretty easy decision. Spoke to the gaffer quite a while ago now, really, about it. Obviously, the guys have been busy, kind of sorting out the new guys coming in, which is exciting as well. But yeah, knew it was always kind of in the pipeline, and then there's no place really I would rather be, to be honest. I've loved my time here. I think everybody knows that. So yeah, it's great for me to obviously commit the next couple of years again here at the club.
I guess it's quite easy to sometimes say that you're enjoying your football, but your football has certainly showed that, especially last season, hasn't it? I mean, those goal returns and the goals you scored were fantastic. So is that exactly how I've said it? Is that showing that you are enjoying your football here?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like you say, it's just for me, I think it comes with a lot of things as well. I think I want my girls, the two girls at home, to be happy, and they very much are, which made my decision again pretty easy. I did speak to them, but then you can see kind of on the football pitch, I think sometimes I'm probably a bit of a madman when people watch me, but I've loved it. I really have, and I think when I'm enjoying myself, enjoying my football, I can produce some special moments as I managed to do a few times last year. So it was like I say, it's a really easy decision. Something that was quite nice, probably not having to entertain anything, knowing that I wanted to be here myself. Kind of made my decision pretty early. Didn't really entertain nothing. Never really spoke to anyone else. So yeah, I'm very happy.
And you are sitting right next to something that probably made last season a bit more happier for you. Talk us through that final. Everyone's dream is to score, isn't it? And at Wembley, you did that to some effect. What was going through your mind after you scored that goal?
Yeah, definitely. But there's so many more factors to it, and it's so many more people play a role in that. Not just us players, you guys, the staff, obviously gaffer, chairman, whoever it is, everybody, and then of course our fans. You got 20-something thousand people there for us, and to see us kind of create that moment, and then to be able to do it, great. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people talk about it, but it's a great header from Qualms. What he does the best, you know what I mean? I probably need to thank him a bit more, to be fair, for it. Brave and amazing header straight into my path, and then I think them sort of moments, they're not really ones you think about, because maybe sometimes I do, because I've done it a couple of times this season. I've scored some good goals, but they're not really that sort of day in the stage that you're on. You don't really think about it. You just want to win, and you want the team to win. You want to do it for the club. But to end the game on that moment was unbelievable, and still probably not really sunk in, to be fair. It's still great seeing it. I've probably watched it quite a few times.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing day.
And well, you kind of mentioned the fans there. Obviously, you went off and celebrated with your teammates, and then I think it was Theo pushed you off, didn't he, in front of the fans? What was it like receiving that elation from that absolute wall of our fans there? That must have been a brilliant moment.
Yeah, just unbelievable. Like I said, I think they've been brilliant with me. To be fair, it probably took me a little bit to kind of, probably for them to understand me, maybe a bit more. But I think I think I'm pretty honest as a person. I feel like I've always been approachable, and whenever we're in the bar after the game or whatever, I always talk to people and have conversations with people. I'm pretty open and honest with how I am, and then I think gradually, I've kind of built a relationship now, which I'm very thankful for, if I'm being honest. They've been amazing, and that's obviously the biggest part of me wanting to be here for longer, and it's a decision that's made easier because of them, and I want to be here. I want to be playing at the EBB again next season, and the feeling that they give to all of us, I don't know, maybe they do understand, but I don't know if they do, but the feeling that you get from kind of when you're backed by the fans here is, I never really felt it, to be fair, anywhere else. It's a different type of feeling, it really is. And I think so many games this season where you've been kind of down and out, and then you get that one chance and it lifts the crowd, and then you go on and you end up, I think back to Hartlepool last season where, I scored, I think it was the 95th minute or whatever. That's not because of us, it's, them. They're so important to all of it. So yeah, like I said, I'm delighted to be playing in front of them. again. And yeah, I look forward to seeing everyone.
Well, talking about last season and the trophy final and everything, obviously we should maybe turn our attentions to the new season with pre-season just around the corner. Not long now, have we? I guess a few new teammates to welcome to the training ground in about a week's time from the time of filming. So how have you thought of the business so far? Are you excited to meet these new lads?
100%. I think they've done really well, and obviously we know there's a few more coming in, which is obviously you're making your job a lot harder, but exciting. I'm excited for sure. I think the gaffer and Jamie and the guys, they do brilliant at kind of noticing that ability and talent and trying to get it in through the door, early doors as well, because it's important when we come back. We have probably a core group that then for me and some of the more senior boys, we can kind of get the culture straight into the lads and kind of help them with whatever they need. Obviously we'll make sure anything that they need is there, and if they need any help with anything, of course, with someone like me or whoever it may be, we'll be able to help them out with that. But no, I'm very excited with the signings, and of course, like you said, I said I probably shouldn't have a few more coming in.
Well, no, it makes my job easy. We've got a nice teaser now.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking at the kind of lineup of the squad, we've seen AJ leave, and that kind of makes the squad a bit younger now, doesn't it? Yeah. Yourself, Theo, Ollie Harfield, Cammy, you're kind of all at that age now where you're maybe moving into more leadership roles because you've been here for a while longer, and you guys are maybe the older guys in the dressing room, which is weird to say because you're not old at all. But does that, when you have new signings and a new season ahead of you, does that kind of, you guys are now have that a bit more responsibility maybe in the dressing room?
Yeah, and I think that's really important. I think for us to kind of take on that role, and I think we're lucky because we've worked with the gaffer for a while now, and these boys are coming into kind of to new things, and which is also exciting for them. But we have to straight away kind of set things straight, and any like I say, anything that they need in terms of they got any questions about how the gaffer works, how does he like this or does he not like this, we can kind of give him that feedback. And I think it's important for someone like me now. I think it's important kind of next few years, I think, going into more of, like you say, a leadership role. I'm really really excited about that for myself, because I've done it in the past, when I was younger, probably being maybe one of the more talented players in my youth team. I got given like a responsibility to kind of go on and be a captain and whatnot, and it developed my game so much more. And I think like pretty much every game last year I was kind of captain and I scored and stuff. Like I like that responsibility. I like being a player that can kind of take things on his own shoulders. So hopefully the new players will come in and realise that I'm one of them players, and anything that they need, or anything, like I say, anything that they want, I can kind of guide them in the right way or help them out as much as I can. And
looking at yourself and your own game, do you set any targets when you're looking ahead to a new season? Or you obviously had a brilliant season individually last year, are you just trying to match that or do one better?
Always better. I think I could have, I think at the end of the season, in my mind, I think I could have probably done a bit better, scored more goals. I think I had a lot of chances, that maybe easier chances than what I've actually scored the goals. So that'll be a big thing. I think I'll work a lot on that side of my game. But not just that, like I think the more important side for me will be is kind of getting that culture right in the team and moving forward, starting strong. I think that's really important in this league. I think to start strong, kind of getting that a good feeling in pre-season. You want everything to be positive, and that, listen, the gaffer does an amazing job at that anyway. That's what he's the best at. He gets the best out of people in that sense. But he also gives a lot of responsibility to us as players to kind of go and do it ourselves, which I think last year we've done quite a lot and we've done pretty well, and we had a really tight-knit group, and that's important. You see the teams that kind of get promoted or win things, they're normally very tight-knit, so you need that. So we'll make sure that first and foremost that's set right, and then on a personal note, I think it's just about trying to, if not match it, then be better, and hopefully I can go one better.
Yeah, because you kind of evolved into a new role, sort of, maybe. I don't know if you'd maybe done it before, but you kind of, that false nine almost, playing alongside Jack and being the link between the midfield and the strike force, weren't you? And maybe that affected your goals, but that's what the gaffer does, doesn't he? He changes the positions around, even with someone he's worked with a lot before. So who knows, we might see you in left wing back or something next
I doubt that. Definitely nowhere near defence, I don't reckon. But no, you're right. To be fair, like me, I was fuming because I didn't really want to play that. I like to be like getting on the ball and trying to make things happen. And then on the flip side of things, I was getting myself into a lot more places maybe what I wouldn't have been if I was playing, say, more of a 10 role. But I enjoyed it being up there with Jacko because we complemented each other really well. He obviously was more of a 9 and ran the channels and kind of done more of the dirty work than what I did. And then for me, it was about kind of doing my bit. So yeah.
Yeah, and we've already kind of touched on a few of the new arrivals. Obviously, you've got Ryan Hill coming in behind you. Jamo's still going to be there, but Tristan's going to be maybe the Jack Barham or your partner next season alongside Kwame, who you obviously had a little bit of time with. So, you know, forming those new relationships and building on ones that you might not have played with as much is quite an important part of pre-season, isn't it?
Yeah. No, definitely. I think you say about Quams and Jamo, like Jamo got a really good relationship anyway. Obviously, Jamo's going into a newer role now, so obviously, which we kind of don't know what will look like. I don't know how much of one or the other he'll do, but got a great relationship with him. Like, as you know, brilliant football player. Anyway, you could strike a relationship if you've got maybe like the sort of player I am. I think I would always strike a relationship with him. Same with Quams, is like he's that sort of player for me. You love playing with because of the way he is and the way he's built, and he's strong and he put his face in anywhere. And also, I think last year, probably Wembley, Quam shouting like at me quite a lot because we wasn't crossing the ball, and it's right. It's right. Like someone like him, he needs to be fed. Like, you know what I mean. You need to put the balls in. And next year, I think we'll do a lot more of that. And then the two new boys, I think they're good players anyway. So for me, it's maybe not about striking a relationship. I think that comes naturally. It's like when you're good players and you've got good players coming in, then you know it's pretty easy. I think you got your training sessions, you got your, you know, I'm sure we'll do a lot of 11v11s, which I know the gaffer likes to do for, you know, getting used to how we're going to play for the new boys. We'll do a lot of them, and I'm sure like in them times we'll be around each other a lot more, and then we can build them sort of relationships.
And obviously you've been here for a fair while now, moving into your third season with us, obviously a half season the first time. You weren't obviously involved in that FA Cup run, but I guess you saw of it and you were with those lads, and obviously then that close playoff push we had with this FA Trophy success last season. What kind of things are we looking to do this season, Josh?
Yeah, like, listen, you want to go and do more. I think this club is built for like special moments. I think it's one of them clubs. It really is. It's got like almost like a special feeling around it. When things are maybe not going so well, it's a bit like on the other way, but which is normal, which is natural, it's football. But I think it's a special club for big moments, and I think I'm the type of player that wants to be involved in big moments. I think it's been brilliant, you know, from upstairs. I think they've given a lot of backing towards the gaffer and Jamie to hopefully for us to go next year and create more big moments for our fans, because that's the least they deserve, I think. But yeah, coming off the back of that year, I think anyone coming in when we go in next week, I think anyone coming in and not wanting to recreate what we had that day, you'd be off your head. So let's hopefully we can have another good day.